What's up, beautiful people? Urban Voice fam, The Wall, Chat State. It's your favorite host, Empress D. In this episode, we are talking about the transition from girlhood to womanhood and what it really means to live out and become your wildest dreams, all while really navigating and unchaining yourself from those social stigmas, breaking down and busting out those narratives that never were meant for us in a world that doesn't always see us clearly. Today in the studio, we have none other than the entrepreneur, Shateria Smith.
Hi, I'm Shateria Smith, the visionary and creative founder behind Brown Girls Can, and you're tuned in to Urban Voice, the podcast.
Hey girl, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just living for what's coming next, honestly.
I know that's right.
So I'm so happy to have you in the studio today because...
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course, because we are here celebrating Women's Month. Mm-hmm. And so who better to have in the studio with me than the visionary who is behind Brown Girls Can. Yeah. I mean, you're a part of the women empowerment movement itself.
Yes. Well, that's one of the reasons why Brown Girls Can was created, was to be a forward moving part of the movement. And
so like most people in the nation know you from the Brown Girls Can movement. Mm-hmm. You have a book series, so authoress as well. But here in the community, like we know you as a friend, an advocate, a community curator. Yeah. Can you catch us up on a little bit of how because you went to high school here, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you went to GPS. What was that like moving into a leadership role space in the woman empowerment movement?
Well, I always have been like an events person. So always curating things, always hosting events, always a part of planning committees and everything like that. So moving into a leadership role where it pertains to like a movement, it kind of just was natural. Like it was just the natural progression of things. Going to an all-girls school kind of helped feed that passion though. So I will say GPS really did plant a lot of seeds as far as the women empowerment aspect of what Brown Girls Can is. So, and then of course, me being a brown girl myself, that's kind of what sparked the other side of the women's movement, wanting to emphasize Black women, Black teens, Black girls, and the amazing things that we do around the world. And then partnering it with just the fact that women are everything. So
everything and more. So after you left high school, like when did you actually start creating the Brown Girls Can? And was it the podcast that came first, or was it the book series that came first?
So I didn't start Brown Girls Can until so let me figure out how to explain this. So I went into corporate America. I worked for an insurance company here in Chattanooga, and then I started doing event rentals. So I used to own an event rentals and logistics company called Simply Props, and I was lime green everything. I had won a few grants with that business, and then I sold it. And then prior to selling it, like right before I sold all of my inventory, I don't even remember how it kind of started. I think I hosted an event maybe, and then I was like, I can like curate some books and things like that. And I did a coloring book. I did a alphabet book for little girls, and it just walks through the possibilities. It's called the Alphabet of Possibilities. So there's like animation in there, accounting, baker. It goes from A to Z, the things that Black women can do or have done with excellence. So that kind of sparked that. And then the podcast kind of started because I was going into planning for the festival, and I was like, how can I spotlight these women who, have agreed to host events for that week? And so that's how the podcast kind of was born. But then I reached out to a couple of celebrities, and they said yes to being on it. And so it kind of grew legs of its own. So it started making me travel and all that stuff.
Ooh, love that. Were you your own inspiration for the mantra itself, Brown Girls Can?
I don't know if I was the inspiration. I think looking at other Black women and knowing that they are proof that it can be done, like whatever you're wanting to do or whatever you have a dream of doing. I think other women served as the inspiration behind the brand. Now, creating the logo, I was like, well, do I need to say Brown Girls Can do it all?
XYZ?
Yeah. And then I just heard no, like keep it open-ended, because whatever you fill it with, there's a Black woman somewhere doing it with excellence.
Yeah. So. And whatever you fill it with, there's also a Black woman somewhere doing more.
Yeah.
Somewhere doing more. One of my favorite Black women is also an authoress, the late Toni Morrison. And she always said that you cannot have someone else's fire. You can only have your own. But in order to do that, you must first be willing to believe in yourself that you have it.
Yeah.
So do you remember around the time, or is there anyone pivotal to like igniting that spark in you, in that fire that you still hold today?
I have always just had the term be delusional. I just have always, people joke and think of it as a negative, but I truly believe like there's not a way that you can make it to the next level in life or the things that you want to do without a form of delusion.
Yeah.
And believing in yourself. So, I don't know if there's like a person that sparked the fire. My mom's memory, probably. Let's see. My family, of course. They've always been like a good source of encouragement, and they champion like my ideas and support. But like a person, I can't think of any like one particular person.
I mean, we are really surrounded by so many great role models, people who are going after the unseen. And I think that it's plausible, and I think it makes sense to not have a specific one person. It's like, this is what I'm modeling myself out of, because at the end of the day, that's what Brown Girls Can is about. It's keeping that box open to all of the possibilities. So I think it makes sense for your inspiration to be all of the above, all of the possibilities.
Yeah. If I had to say like an inspiration though, I kind of wanted to be this generation's like Oprah mixed with Issa.
Ooh, okay.
So I kind of, when you talk about like keeping the box open, I want to, whenever I transition, I want to go empty. So like whether it's my next like chapter is film and production and writing some TV shows and a few movies that I'm working on now, but whether it's that lane or whether it's books, whether it's festivals and events, I kind of figuring out how Brown Girls can navigate and map the next kind of journey, but doing it in a way that like checks off all the boxes that I want to like explore. So
yeah, that makes complete sense. And I love to hear that you are about to start dibbling and dabbling into like film and TV shows. Remind me after this for me to give you like my best like shocked impression.
Okay.
So you can keep me in mind. I'll give you my best expression so you
You're
can keep
so
me in
funny.
mind when
Okay.
you're doing your casting call, because
I got you.
I've been wanting to get a little bit into acting. I really love modeling.
Okay.
And I think I enjoy like voice acting a lot because I just have a lot of expression to give.
Yes.
So remind me at the end
I will.
to give you my best expression.
I will.
But when we are talking about a boss babe like yourself, like there are levels to this, and there are layers that I'm sure you've peeled back and more that you have to go. So with that in mind and thinking of that transition from Brown Girls Can, like girlhood into womanhood, what are some of those layers that you've gotten to see for yourself that you've peeled back that has really helped you like excel into womanhood?
Well, both of my parents passed away before I was 12, 11. So I would say I had to learn that being by yourself is not a bad thing. It's not abandonment to be by yourself and to really I don't know, to be okay with being by yourself. Like if you have to be on the front line and it's nobody else but you and you're fighting for something that you believe in or that you have a dream of doing and creating, I think that's the biggest kind of lesson for me. Being able to peel back that is, I would say, the biggest kind of lesson that I've learned is being by yourself is okay. It's okay. So
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I actually learned that lesson a little later in my transition from girlhood to womanhood. I remember my girlhood, I had little teeny bopping friends. Like I had little girlfriends, and as I grew older, you know, your circle just kind of tightens a little bit. And then, I mean, I just went through another era transition as well where it got even tighter. And so I really had to, it helped me grow my faith in God, in my relationship with God, because at the end of the day gotta end, one. But two, at the end of the day, it's me and God. Like you said, when my transition comes, I want to go empty. And so when I am finally poured out and I've fostered all of these things, I need to be okay with what I've done. And not being, you know, being motivated. Being motivated is good, but being in acceptance is that's really almost even better. Actually, on that note, another one of my faves, Angela Davis, she said, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept.
That's a good
So
quote.
what are some things that you are no longer accepting and that you would encourage younger girls to start recognizing and deciding for themselves if that's something they want in their lives or don't?
Being a woman who understands her value, and not accepting like breadcrumbs, and, you know, really knowing your worth is one nugget that I would tell young girls. Like, as soon as you can understand what that means, to really grasp that and like never let go of that. Knowing, you know, your worth, your value, and knowing that you bring something that only you can bring. Like, you know, I think that would be my main thing, is that I would tell little girls, is like the earliest you can understand your value and your worth, that's like the key. Because when you understand that, you won't subject yourself to certain things that, you know, will put you in harm's way or will cause you trauma, or, you know, so it's when you understand like the gem that you are, it's just kind of like, you know.
Yes. And I think everybody should eventually understand the gym that they are, but specifically young girls, because the imagery is out there.
Yes.
Positive or
negative.
Unfavorable, I'll say, whatever. Because at the end of the day, somebody had to write that narrative.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not through our own voices. It's not through our own penmanship. And so I 100% agree with you, is like recognizing who you are in the gym that you are. And I think that comes with a little bit of exploration. Like being okay with being different than the bunch.
Yes.
So what are some of your favorite things about being a brown girl who can?
What are some of my favorite things? I love the fact that, like you said, you don't have to be like everybody else. Like my thing is not everybody else's thing. And I don't know, I like being different. Yeah. I'm not a club girl. I'm not a, if I'm not at work, I'm at home, I'm chilling, I'm grounding, I'm listening to music. Like, I'm working. When I created the coloring book, I did that like in, I want to say like 3 or 4 days, just head down focused. Because one thing about me is like when I see something, I'm like laser focused until it's done, until I can touch it.
Yes.
I'm a very, I have to have like a tangible something. It's like something in my blood. I don't know. It's like it itches to come out of me when I have a. You're
a real manifester.
Yeah. People tell me that all the time. Like, you really do be manifesting stuff. So it's so funny. But yeah, just being okay with you. I think a lot of times in society they champion the fact that like, hey, let's get together, let's go out, let's party, let's be in a crowd, in a group, but are you really okay with you?
Yes.
To be by yourself. I've seen like a couple of different memes and things where people are like, well, why do people go to dinner by themselves? I'm like, because
I love me.
I love me and I like
to eat. Love me? What's wrong with you though?
So I think, healing that part of you, if you don't like you, then that's not okay.
Yeah, that's the first step, is liking you and loving you and then accepting you. I used to think that all the time. I remember when I was younger and my mom be like, I'm just going to dinner by myself. And I used to be like, why are you sad? Like, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, you don't want me to come? But she'll be like, I just need a little bit of alone time. And I've really gotten into that space with myself. Like, thank God I'm so excited for the spring. But when spring comes around, I keep a little picnic bag in my car because I'm quick to bust out a blanket, a notepad, and just solitude. Solitude. I heard you say that, some of your calming activities involve like listening to music and grounding. Do you have any other hobbies that like just kind of keep you either focused or really helps you simmer in after being out here and being a personality and being a leader of this movement?
Other activities
or hobbies or interests?
I used to be content creation, so like a lot of the platforms that I've grown just from getting in front of the camera. But here lately, I've just been wanting to be like in the background and really help others foster, their businesses and things like that. So, I don't know. It used to be cooking. Like when I was focused on like growing my TikTok, I would just create little different stuff in the kitchen, and that kind of took off. And so yeah, I don't know. And people are like, Shateria, you really can't cook. Like, will you open a restaurant? Will you? And I'm like, that is one.
Girl, they want you to be Mrs. Do It All.
That is one field that I don't have any interest in going into, because I've seen restaurant owners and caterers and culinary artists like catch hell, and that's just not something that I can cook for me and like, if somebody comes over to the house or whatever, but as far as like opening a restaurant, It would have to be. I would have to be like a billionaire, able to franchise
In your free time.
Yeah. So, but it's nothing that I would. But I do enjoy cooking, like, for myself.
I think that's just as important, though. Yeah, it's important to know that brown girls can do anything, but you don't have to do everything.
You don't have to.
And I think that's really important when keeping your passions close to heart, which is like staying, I wouldn't say like in your lane, but like understanding what feeds and fuels your passion.
Yes. And knowing when to say no. Like, just because I can doesn't mean that I have to, or that, it was an example, like, just because you can put together a charcuterie board don't mean that means you're supposed to start a business doing it, or that means you're supposed to, that's the next step for you. But having boundaries too is one thing that's important.
That's key for protection. And as a woman in general, but especially a brown and black woman, like, it's really important that, and not even in a physical way, but in a mental, emotional capacity to protect yourself with those boundaries so that you can have that peace and love for the things that it's meant for, right?
Yeah.
What are some boundaries that you enforce in your life that keeps you at bay from chaos and that keeps you peaceful and centered?
I try to be okay with everybody, but I'm not a part of any kind of particular like group. I think that just helps me be able to move freely. Like, I don't have to have loyalty to any one particular organization or group, but I also, I'm able to, if I want to, go here, there, or wherever. I think also just staying true to like my desires. Like, if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to. And understanding that no is a complete sentence. Like, I've stopped like explaining why or why not. Just no.
Yeah.
And being
not
okay
interested.
with it.
One saying, I've heard it a couple different times, but it's not that I'm better than anybody.
Right.
Like, God made us with the same blood functioning organs, or, of the likes. I won't say everybody's the same, but I'm not better than anyone, but I am different in a lot of different ways, and I have to honor that for myself. Like, if it doesn't make sense for who I am, or if it doesn't feed my fire, feed my passions, then I'm just different. And that's okay for us to be different. But I like how you mentioned, I can get along with anybody, but I'm not loyal to one specific thing or one specific group just because just because of who I am or my makeup. And that's actually, I guess maybe like a principle of mine, or I don't know if it's a principle of mine, but one of my other faves, Dr. Kimberly Crenshaw, she is known for coining the term intersectionality. And that's really, for those that might not know, that's really looking at the fullness, the whole person in itself, and knowing that you're not just a woman. You're not just black, but you are a black woman who is loved, who has dreams, and all of the above, and being able to see the crossover of race, gender, culture, interest, love, and passions. And so that's one of the things that I live by. Like, I'm not just who you see. I'm a body, I'm a soul, I'm a spirit. So with that in mind, what are some of, have you ever heard, because I'm thinking about the intersections, and I know when we speak about being in this woman movement, some people want to immediately be like, feminist. Oh, she must be a feminist. Do you identify as a feminist in any sorts?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that I could be at the forefront and be a creative visionary behind something called Brown Girls Can, with an emphasis on girls. without being one. So,
yeah. I was doing some research, and because for a long time I was like, duh, I'm a feminist, but I'm more than just that, right?
Yes.
And so I came across this other social theory. It's called womanism. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
So womanism is a social theory that is rooted heavily in the Black woman experience.
Got it.
And the reason why it's rooted in the Black woman experience is because our experience in culture and community is more so dealing with the collective. So it's not just thinking about a woman this or it's not just focusing all on gender, but it's focusing on how the woman shows up in the lives of men's lives, of women's lives,
That's
as
good.
caretakers,
I can see that.
yeah, as sisters, as friends, and it doesn't just silo us into recognizing women deserve equal rights. Yes, we do deserve equal rights. But you can't think about a woman without looking at her wholeness, looking at her race, looking at her social class, looking at her culture. And so that's kind of one thing that I've been, inviting into my repertoire of values and identity as like, girl, I am a woman. I'm a full woman. I'm just not, I'm not just a female. I'm a full woman who has brothers, who has little cousins. And like when I show up, it matters for them too.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And I actually really like that because I think too many times we get into the man versus woman, boys versus the girls. And really we need each other to thrive and to cultivate healthy community for each other.
That's right.
One of my other faves, her name is Nikki Giovanni, and she would always talk about how like men are not the problem, it's the patriarchy that's the problem. Yeah. Like it's not men, and women are not the only ones affected by patriarchy. Men are affected by patriarchy too. So I guess with that in mind, and we're thinking about Brown Girls Can, how do you lead yourself in spaces where there are men, women, non-binaries? Does it look different in rooms that you walk in, or how does that go for you?
Well, I think it's very important. My number one thing is always being your authentic self. And I think that helps walking into any room. Is if you are the same, if you're your authentic self in every single room, then there's no code switching, there's no, having to change because this demographic is in the room or I'm presenting to this, particular person or whatever. So I think I always make it a point to just be my authentic self, regardless of who I think or know is in the room. And really always having like a goal. So whenever I go into a room, yes, I'm going to be my authentic self, but what is my goal going into the room? Is it to network? Is it to make new connections? Is it just to be there and to observe? Is it, so figuring that out before walking into the room, but just ultimately being your authentic self is what speaks across any kind of language,
That's good. That's good. So Brown Girls Can had a festival last year. Also had a brunch. Yeah. How were those?
They were good. Brunch After Dark was the finale of the festival. So it was a week-long festival. We had over 20 events that week.
Wow.
Where I partnered with different Black entrepreneur women. And they hosted events all across the Chattanooga area, and we raised money for Girls Inc. So it was a learning experience. It was something that it was for me maximizing like my skill set and figuring out what was next. So like I said, I always was into events. So I was like, okay, I've hosted events, I've hosted a conference. What's after that? And so a festival just kind of made sense. October is my mom's birthday. It's also my dad's birthday. It's also the time that my mom transitioned. It's also Black Girl Day off. So a lot of that kind of played into why I picked October. Why I picked that week in particular, I think it's Black Hair Day somewhere in that week. So a lot of, why we picked that time was intentional.
Yeah,
a lot of people were like, well, why did you pick? Because it's also Chattanooga Hip Hop Week.
Yeah.
That was the same week. And so we picked it not because it was the same week, but because of other things.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's going to look like this year, but we shall see. I'm working on a few other things, a few other merch products, curriculum. We want to get into schools and kind of have a mentorship program. So yeah, we're doing some things. We've been hosting grant application co-working nights.
Yes.
So women in business have come out and really worked on their business, applied for grant funding, and seeing women actually, make it to the next round of these grants or get accepted, win funding is what Brown Girls Can is all about, empowering each other to make it to the next level. I think that's one thing about me is I see things and yes, I manifest them, but I'm not afraid to work on it, actively do the work and figure out, okay, what do I need to do next to make it happen?
And that's the key. Gots to do the work.
Gots to.
So, girl, it seemed like you got a lot going on, or at least a lot coming up for the Brown Girls Can Enterprise.
Yeah. Let's call it that.
How can we stay informed on the things that are coming up? We want to stay connected. Tell the people where they can get this merch. I love it. I need a little beanie for sure.
browngirlscan.org for all things merch, events. I'm working on an app, so we'll build community there, and that'll be kind of like the one-stop shop for all things Brown Girls Can. But our YouTube channel, they have my travel vlogs when I go and I do different podcasts with other people outside of the city. Also, the podcast, the visual episodes drop on our YouTube page. And then Facebook, TikTok, at Brown Girls Can Movement.
And you're on Audible, I peeped.
Yeah, we're on everywhere podcasts are streamed.
Anywhere you can get your podcast. I know that's right. You my inspiration, girl.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I'm so glad that you stopped by the studio with us. It really means a lot. I really hope that people got a chance to learn a little bit more about you, like the person behind the movement, because that's what women's history is about, and history is being made every single day.
Every day.
And that's what you're doing. So I'm glad that we had a chance to highlight a lot of the things that you've done, some of the things you have coming up. And girl, the Urban Voice fam is also your fam. So please, anytime, give us a shout. Yes. Let us know how we can show up for you, and we'll make sure that we tell the rest of the crew.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I'm a hugger, Divine.
You're good. Thank you.